Hi guys, welcome to the trade, episode 66. Today I am hanging out with James. How do I say it? Point du
Well, it's
jour.
supposed to be point du jour, but
Point du jour.
no one ever says that. Not even myself. I just say point du jour and call it a
Point
day.
du jour.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
There you go.
I'll go American. Let's go that way.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But thank you for joining me.
absolutely. Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
So overall, I came across your comics on Twitter, and I figured, hey, those are cute. Let's point and poke at you and see what's going on.
Awesome.
So,
all right.
So tell us a little bit about your comics and some of your background, if you don't mind.
Sure. I've wanted to be a cartoonist since I was 10. So, nothing new, nothing interesting there, I guess. I grew up watching Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, typical Gen X cartoons now, I guess. And read Calvin and Hobbes growing up, and that's what I want to do. So, if as you probably noticed on Twitter, I draw a lot of talking animal cartoons. And Sodapop is my current one. Basically, he's a rescue dog, living with his new owner M, and wacky hijinks ensue, and that's pretty much the strip. Really, it's about two people just trying to get along and not be lonely. So it's my very inarticulate elevator pitch.
Well, it's just really, really cute overall. Guys, it's on heysodapop.com if anybody wants to check it out. And overall, why did you go with the cute animals,
Why did they pick the cute animals? Stuffed animals, basically. Plush toys. I'm already thinking about selling out. One day, and yeah, seeing plush versions of Sodapop on store shelves, and basically minting money. No, no. I mean, cute animals. At the end of the day, they're just fun to draw. They're just fun to draw, and it's fun having them. Do not cute things. Like it's just fun showing cute animals doing very rude or sassy things. It's just entertaining to me. I don't know what made me stumble upon like French bulldogs. I think I read somewhere that they were just happen to be popular at the moment, and I thought, oh, they are cute. And I just figured, well, let me turn them into a cartoon and see what happens. And so, Sodapop was the result. And it's funny, it's like today, as a matter of fact, is the 1 year anniversary of the strip. So I've been doing it for 1 year now. So,
well, congrats.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, Sodapop is super cute. And he's kind of sassy.
Yeah. To say so, definitely. Just a scotch. Yeah.
Just a little bit. He definitely acts like a little French bulldog. That anybody who's been around little bulldogs, little Frenchies or little pugs, they're pretty ornery and they got little attitudes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I got his personality. So my old next door neighbor he had these two pugs, Buddy and Max, and so whenever I go out my deck, they would happen to be out there. And they would essentially just hang out with me. And Buddy would be like the very chill, kind of zen-like, personality. He would just kind of, lie, next to me. And Max would bark at everything. Like he would bark at his own barks. Frankly, he would just flip out. And I thought, okay, that's a character, and that's kind of who I kind of modeled Sodapop after. So he was just hilarious. So
he would jump at his own shadow occasionally, going, "Hey, who are you?"
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, he would forget he was the one barking, and I would always imagine Buddy kind of looking over at him like, dude, it's nothing. And then, of course, Max would just cut him off like, no, it's a squirrel. I need to bark. I'm just angry all the time. Yeah, so I just thought they just had a very funny dynamic. So
definitely, that's fun. Well, it's just fun being able to model characters off of at least aspects you've seen in real life, especially.
Oh, of course, yeah. So, yeah, I don't have any pets myself at the moment, but if I did, I'm not sure I would get a French bulldog. I'd probably go with something like, I don't know. I always say like Labrador retrievers are the obvious choice, but I've gotten really into corgis as of late, just because of the YouTube videos I've seen of them. I think they're hilarious. So much so that I actually introduced one into Sodapop not too long ago. His name's Carlton, and if I were to ever adopt a dog, like a corgi is like top of my list now in terms of cute toy dogs. Yeah.
I have a corgi. I do. She's
You do
half
have a
corgi.
corgi. No.
Yeah, I have a half
Awesome.
corgi, half border collie. So think of a border collie cut off at the knees.
Mm-hmm. And
So
that's your dog. What's her name?
Ashes.
Ashes. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
because
is that now?
I don't know if you've seen too many pictures of border collies, but a lot of them, the typical coloring is a black upper coat, and they usually got some speckling like on their feet or around their muzzle. And that's what her feet look like. It looks like she jumped in a bucket of ashes.
Gotcha. So that's kind of how you got the name. Okay. Very cool. Now, is Ashes also kind of sassy, or is she more of the mellow type?
She's a fluff brain. She is a straight fluff brain. I love her to pieces, but she's complete and utter fluff. She's smart enough to know how to get into the canned cat food, but that's about it.
I see. Does she get along with the cat or cats?
The cat, Noodles, and no, Noodles is
that's a great name for a cat, by the way.
Noodles is believes herself above the dogs, and is the elegant one, and will be sitting there licking herself, and then Ashes will come, hey, what's up? How you doing?
It's like they have a kind of a sibling dynamic going on there.
Definitely. And then I've got a big dog. He's half lab, half Rhodesian. So he's a big, gruff guy.
Big dog,
yeah, he's a big guy. And but he's old and grouchy. He's just basically my old grouchy man.
Gotcha. So he's the one saying, "Get off."
Yeah. He's just like, get off the couch. My spot.
He's the get off my lawn cut type.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and then there are the two young kids going, hey, what's up? How's it going? And then the cat's like, yeah, no.
So I guess Ashes will be the youngest one, Noodles will be the second, and then of course I forget the name of your oldest
Beowulf.
dog. Beowulf will be the he's the great granddad of the bunch. Yeah.
Actually, reverse it. Beowulf and Ashes are the same age, and Noodles is the youngest.
No kidding. Okay.
Right. Yeah. She's only 4 years old.
Gotcha. So she's kind of. They're 16. Okay, so she's the youngest. So she's kind of emo, is really what you're saying.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just coming out of her teenage stage into her adult stage, but she's still super lovey. But she only wants to love on me. She does not want to love on the dogs, but the dogs want to love on her.
Got. It's very one-sided.
Yes, it's the one-sided love, and they're just like, "Hi, how's it going?" She's like, "No." Goes on. It's fun. It's fun. It's very much fun. I love having pets.
Yeah. Do you ever you mentioned before that you were before we went on air that you also draw. Like, have you ever drawn comics of your pets?
A couple here and there. I've been working on autobio comics myself lately, so they pop up in a few of them here and there.
Okay.
And cool. Generally, Noodles likes to groom my head, and being that I have 4 feet of hair, that doesn't work.
Doesn't work very well. No.
It doesn't work. It's have you ever seen a cat try to lick long hair? It is.
I'm guessing Noodles coughs up a lot of hairballs. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she'll just get tangled in my hair, and then I've got a cat stuck to the back of my head.
And then she's like...
And then I'm sitting there, and then she's angry at me, and I'm like, oh.
Tangled up in your head. Looks over at you like, human, I require assistance, or something like that, yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, let's see. Extract. It's fun.
Too funny.
Yeah, it's fun in my household. That's why I usually keep my hair tied up in a bun. It prevent accidents.
Right. I see.
So
do you put them in like a? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, like, so during the day, like, are they like in a doggy daycare or pet daycare, or they just kind of hang? They just have to, run to the house.
I have 8 acres of property. They have the run of the property.
Gotcha. Okay, so they get to run around. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. they get to run around the house, they get to run around the yard. You know, they got their time, I got my time, and then we all collapse together in the evening and have dinner together.
There you go. Nice. Right. You with a nice bourbon, and then with, you know, I don't know, catnip and whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I was wanting to know a little background on you. So, you know, are you originally from Maryland?
No, I'm originally from Rhode Island, and my family moved to New York, Brooklyn, New York, when I was pretty young. It was like around there that I kind of picked up cartooning as like a hobby. And when we moved to Philadelphia, that's when I decided I was going to take it seriously. Like I wanted to, you know, do it professionally. And so in high school, I would draw like zines and mini comics, you know, hand them out to my friends. And I went to college for animation, thinking, well, at the time, The Lion King was like the biggest movie out there, and like I was reading about how animators could make six figures, and I was like, oh, you know, so wait, I get to draw talking animals and make good money? Sold. So I studied animation, worked for a couple of studios down the line, and didn't really get back into comics actually until I left the studio system and started working as a graphic designer in Maryland. And it's around then that I realized that I let all this time go by and I never really, you know, pursued my original love of comics. And so that's what I'm doing now. So I'm drawing, you know, Sodapop. I'm working on, I'll say a graphic novella. Like I don't think it'll be quite 100 pages, but you know, close to.
Right.
And you know, just trying to have some fun. So I'm also teaching cartooning for this gallery in not too far from where I work in Annapolis. Called Art Farm, and we teach a cartooning class, and I'm basically teaching kids, you know, everything I've learned about cartooning and animation and all that other stuff. So it's been fun.
Yeah. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
do you have any future plans for Sodapop? You know, like, do you want to make a book, 2 books, anything like that?
As a matter of fact, I do. So I'm going to be doing the Baltimore Comic Con later this year. You know, for anyone watching, hey, come check us out. And I hope to have the first Sodapop collection ready to go for that. So that'll be ready early September, and you know, hopefully I'll have this graphic novella good to go too. And I can't talk too much about it. And while I'm here plugging stuff, I have don't mind.
Not at all.
A buddy of mine, Missy, she wrote a children's book a few years back, and I illustrated it. And it's called, if you can see that there, it's called A Draft Past Bedtime.
Aw.
And yeah, thank you. And as of course, there are animals because I have to draw animals, talking animals. And it's about a little girl who it's her bedtime, but she tells her dad that, you know, she can't go to sleep because all these animals keep coming into her room. And of course, he doesn't believe her, but you know, at the end, it turns out, there's a little bit of truth to what she's saying. And so we put that book out back in 2012, I think, and it's available on Amazon.com. So just Google my name or Draft Past Bedtime, and you'll get it. And it's by Missy Hodges, a good friend of mine, and you know, I illustrated it, and it's been fun. I mentioned Sodapop that I'll have later this fall. And my other book, this is an older comic I drew. It's called Rockford, right here. It's a little black and white book, and it's about a very, very friendly kind of wolf dog. And basically, he's very happy. He likes going on adventures. And in that book in particular, to impress a girl, he needs to learn how to dance. And so he and his friends seek out this legendary dance king to show him some moves and, you know, help him get the girl. So those are my current projects, and yeah, you know, more on the way.
Are you going to do a Kickstarter for Sodapop?
I've actually never done Kickstarter. So all of these books I've used either Kablam to self-publish them or CreateSpace. CreateSpace part Amazon. Once your book is up, it's automatically available on Amazon.com. So I've actually just relied on those. Generally, like I'm a graphic designer, so I'm used to laying out books and things like that. So I do all my own layout work, and yeah. So I haven't. If I ever do a Kickstarter, it'll be for like a much more elaborate hardcover type book. And I don't have any projects like down the line yet that would call for that kind of book yet. So, but when I do, then I'll look into Kickstarter. But for now, I think this works fine.
Very cool. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you mentioned CreateSpace and Kablam. If somebody's
Mm-hmm.
publishing their own, which one would you recommend the best?
Depends on what you want to do. So obviously, if you want to sell online, I'd say CreateSpace would be the first one to go with. Because the minute you're published, again, it's automatically available on Amazon.com, and they make it very easy if you follow their guidelines to get your book distributed to actual brick and mortar stores like Barnes and Noble, and to libraries. So I would say if making your book as uh, widely available as possible, CreateSpace is the way to go for now. If you specifically want to do comic books and your thing is primarily doing conventions, I would go with Kablam. Like I think they have way more tutorials that are available in terms of laying out your book, and they're very comic and manga friendly. And their prices are just as good, if not better, than Amazon's at times too. So it really comes down to what you want to do. Like CreateSpace only does paperback style books, whereas Kablam will do the actual old school floppy comic book, and they'll also do the manga sized comic book as well. So just think about which direction you want to go with, and then tailor your drawing, your layout to that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because later this year I'm hoping to do my first book.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully, I've been, shopping around trying to figure out prices if I need to, I'm going to self-publish. So who should I go with? I've been trying to get some different ideas from other people.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny. It's like I learned about self-publishing options, but I didn't learn about CreateSpace until I did the Small Press Expo in Bethesda like some years back, and I was chatting with some other cartoonists, and one of them mentioned, "Dude, check out CreateSpace. Like, it gets you online pretty quick." So yeah, basically just cartoonists networking amongst themselves, chit chatting, and then we kind of stumble upon all these other options. So that's how it works. To help each other.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So if you meet somebody brand new, they're just getting into the scene, what advice would you give them?
It's like they're just decided now that they want to become a cartoonist and they want to get into it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what other people are doing. Figure out what you love most about cartooning, about comics in general, and work on drawing that. There's already, don't try to be the next Eastman and Laird. They already exist. They've already done their thing. Just do your thing. Like, it sounds like really simple advice, but I found, especially teaching these young artists in Annapolis, like I found that it's even though it's simple advice, it's very easy to fall into just kind of thinking where you feel like you need to do what's already been proven successful rather than do your own thing and kind of figure out how to make that successful. So that'd be my advice. Focus on what you enjoy the most about cartooning, and draw that. You'll have an easier time sticking with it because you're enjoying it. And you'll probably find an audience that you didn't think existed because what you're creating just hasn't been out there yet. So
yeah, I've jumped all over the place myself, just making different things, different stories. And, I've had several people say, well, you just need to focus. And I'm like, I'll focus per book, or per project. But that's also the fun of making things is you can explore too.
Yeah, absolutely. And comics are they're a great medium to just kind of jump into because unlike say film or theater, all you need is yourself, your ideas, and pen and paper, and you're ready to go. It's just in terms of startup cost, it's it's like one of the cheapest things you can start with. And the fan base, I feel like they could be more passionate than the fan bases for maybe not necessarily movies, but well, I'll say they're as passionate. So it's low startup costs, easy to get your stuff visible online, and once you find an audience, they're super loyal. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I found overall that comics as both a story medium and also political commentary, social commentary, it's just a really good way to express your point of view. Especially if you don't know how to express it otherwise.
Right.
I have several autistic friends. I've got some autistic cousins, and some of them it's just easier to draw out the idea than it is trying to say it or even write it.
Absolutely. I think pictures are much more fitting an idea or expressing thoughts than words can be. Pictures can get abstract and still get at a feeling that words just can't quite articulate. So they can get very intimate or they can get very broad. It's really the sky's the limit. It really comes down to like your individual skill and your vision. So I think comics are a fantastic medium to work in, especially if like you said, you have a hard time expressing yourself any other way.
I really try to encourage people, especially if anybody is having a hard time just expressing himself in general or don't know, I don't know how to say this. And I'm like, well, pencil and paper, there you go, try it. Yeah. What? All I can do is stick figures. Do a stick figure. It's yeah. You do not have to be Picasso.
No, not at all. Actually, when Picasso started out, he wasn't really Picasso. If you think about it, he had to start out with figuring out who he was and what kind of art he wanted to do as well. And there are artists who I always like mentioning Van Gogh. In his lifetime, he was not considered great. It wasn't until years later when people rediscovered his work that they realized, oh my God, this dude was a genius. So, I mean, yeah, just try it,
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I've got a book I want to go ahead and pimp real quick.
Sure.
One of my recent hauls from the comic shop. This is the latest collect edition. It has issues 1 through 6 of Jem and the Holograms. This one is put out by Sophie Campbell and Kelly Thompson, both written and then illustrated by written by Kelly with, I know Sophie did a lot of help with the writing, but Sophie did all the art.
Okay. It's called Jem and the Holograms. So okay. Who's putting that out? Is that a Boom book?
No, IDW.
IDW is putting that Jem out. Okay. Cool.
It's just I love the colors. I love the juxtaposition of some of the images, especially when you're trying to convey a music scene.
Yeah, nice splash page.
Yeah. That to me really emphasizes just the flow of music. You can feel the rhythm almost. Absolutely. As well as see it. It's and the contrast of images. It just brain candy. That's the best way to put it, is just brain candy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Actually, if you don't mind, I have a good friend of mine from Philadelphia. She put out a book not too long ago. I would love to, pimp that out on her behalf, if you wouldn't mind. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Admire my lovely background there.
Hi, background. How are you? Thanks so much for sticking with us, guys.
Right. So back when I was living in Philadelphia, I met this group of cartoonists, who called themselves the Philadelphia Cartoonist Society. I'm proud to say I'm still a member. And one of the artists there, Christine Larson, she's a fantastic cartoonist. She does a lot of comics for Boom Studios. I think she does a couple things for IDW. She's illustrated Kung Fu Panda, Adventure Time, etc. She put out a self-published book called Holy Diver right here.
I just reviewed that one last episode.
You're kidding?
No, her work is fantastic. She gave
awesome.
me a preview copy.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You want to talk about brain candy? God damn, that stuff is good.
Isn't it
right
beautiful?
there.
It's beautiful work. Yeah, it is beautiful work.
Damn.
Yeah.
She sent me a digital copy of the book, and I was just like, oh my God.
I'm gonna have to find her on Instagram and tell her, dude, you just got plugged twice. We're both fans. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that stuff is just yes, it's like pasta. It will give you, fullness in the hips, but damn, is it good?
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Oh, in that case, well, geez. Well, this isn't something I've read recently, but since Holy Diver's been put out there, I'll throw out have you read Delilah Dirk by I think Tony Cliff?
Yes, yes, I got the first 2 issues, books, collected editions, at Emerald City Comic Con.
Yeah. So yeah, I picked up the first 2 as well, comic shop, and like his drawing and of course Christine's. I'm totally ripping their styles off for my future work. Absolutely, they're just beautiful. So.
Hell yeah. And it's just, and I love the story, and it is really dynamic. The 2 personalities always clashing. Her being an overpowered,
right, and his being a tea drinking kind of like overly cautious sidekick.
Yes.
No, yeah, they have a great odd couple kind of dynamic going. Yeah, and
yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and the color work's beautiful. The coloring is awesome.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about a pretty book? That is a pretty book.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm jealous.
Definitely. Fully jelly right here.
Right.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up here.
Absolutely. Okay.
So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you for pimping books. They're just always good to see, fellow creators pimping other people's work. That's just tasty stuff.
Yep. No, definitely. The more the better, I say.
Definitely. Well, you're always welcome back on the podcast. You can always tell us about any new work whenever you get your next books out, anything like that. You want to throw them up? Always welcome to come and pimp them.
Dude, I would appreciate it. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Hope to talk to you guys soon.
Heck yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you next time. See you next month.
Take care. Bye.